Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to another video here on Koehn logging. We're out here Monday morning here. Got a little bit of rain over the weekend, but it's not too wet to work. Dad is working on the dozer, trying to fix the road up a little bit, and I'm going to get my machine serviced up. I'm going to check my final drive oil. I haven't done that in a while, and make sure everything's good. And hopefully get busy cutting some trees here this morning. That's the goal. Okay, I put paint marks on the tires on the mark where I need to get them. It has the plugs at the top. So I'm going to see if I can get those on top, and then I pull the plug and check them. Alright, I got the plugs at the top pretty close here. That was close. Walk over here to the other side. That was also close to the top. Alright, we're gonna get this cleaned up around this plug here. And open it up and see what's inside. Well, they're definitely not full. Let's put a little soap in this thing. This stuff looks like soap. It's not soap, though. I've got it full here. It's running out. And now we repeat on the other side. I got the other side done. Neither one of them took very much. I only put like 12, 14 ounces in each one. It's not very much, but we're good to go for a little while now. I got myself pinched on the first tree of the morning. It's a ditch tree, and I couldn't cut this side out over here, and it pinched the nose of my bar right there. Owen's here to help me get it out. It's a little wet today. You can see how muddy his tires are. We're gonna get a cable hooked up around this thing real quick. We got a line hooked to it. I'll have him put some tension on it and see if it'll move a little bit and let my bar out. I don't want to pull it all the way over and make it go over the ditch. I don't want to do that. All I want is my bar back. He's getting his line pulled tight. My bar's back. You're good, Owen. He's going to try to pull it all the way over. To go. Oh no, he's trying. Oh. This guy's a genius. I would have never thought of that. Owen, you're a genius. We got this beautiful cherry here. It's tall, straight. Pretty tree. That's a pretty nice cherry log right there. And if y'all don't believe me that it's cherry, check this out. I'll show you the leaves in the top. There you go. That is a cherry tree. This is crazy. How does this even happen? Crazy! It's really got itself up in there now. Boy! I am struggling! Alright, here's an update on what we're into now. We're not cutting trees. This thing here, the winch input shaft, was making a noise, a weird noise. And that yoke is loose. And we thought it was bearings at first, but we're hoping it's just tighten the yoke up. We're hoping. Well, what I have figured out is this nut here was very loose. I took it off and pulled them out, pulled the yoke off. Everything looks pretty good in there. So I put it back on, and the pin was in this notch right here. I moved it one notch, and all of that play has disappeared. It's all gone. So we're fitting to find something to put in here because I broke the cotter pin. Put this thing back together and go back to work. We have got it back in. We're gonna start it up and see if we can make it do it again. All right, back up a little bit. Your diff's locked? Why is it spinning? Let's go to the other side. Oh. It's not ticking anymore. That's great. This guy thinks he needs some extra weight. Needs more traction. We're going to push the truck out here. stop, Owen. Don't stop. Keep going. Keep going. You got this. Go. Keep pushing. Keep going. You got it. Keep going. Push. Close. I think you had that extra weight, wouldn't have got it. Owen's fitting to pull a nice drag of white oak up through here. Oh, and he put a hickory in it. Fitting to pull this drag up through here. About all it wants to pull up that hill. That's a nice stump. That's what I try to shoot for on all of them, but I don't always get it. It's a nice white oak log right there. Nice white oak log. I just got done putting these two red oaks down. They were on the same stump right there. But that stump measures 46 inches the short way. It's like 51 the long way. That's a big tree. It's got some nice logs in it. Well, we got a hand cut tree. Big old poplar right here. Big old tree. It's hanging off in the ditch here. There ain't no way I could cut it with the bell, so I'm gonna cut it down by hand here. Could get very interesting because there's no good way to cut the backside out and not be in the way. But I'll figure out a way to get out of the way when it takes off. That thing being hollow made it scary. Boy, I don't like those. It would have been much better if it would have been sound. But it's down. When I marked this one, I didn't think I could cut it with the bell, but walking up here after it's been cleaned up around, I think I can get it down. It's a real nice red oak. But I'll set y'all up and I'm gonna see if I can get it cut down. That sure does beat cutting them by hand. That worked really well. I like that it stayed on the stump because I'll have Owen come in here and I'll have him pull that top back across if he can. And that way it ain't way down the ditch so he can get a hold of it. This hill is pretty steep and he is struggling to get back up the hill. He tried it once without his diffs locked and he spun out. He come back down and locked his diffs and he got back up. I drove off this ditch bank here. There was a tree down the ditch. I done cut it. But yeah, I just rolled right off of this. And I cut a log right there. Owen will come and grab it and hand it down to me. And he'll pull me up and out of there. Dad and Owen are pushing a load up the hill. Yesterday morning we finished cutting out all the trees that we're going to cut from this set. So this morning here we did a little maintenance on the bale, and now we're going to go out through here and see if we can clean this set up a little bit so that we can move out of here to another spot. We have all of this to clean up right here. We're going to use the dozer and the skidder together. This area right in here is where we were pulling up with the skidder when we had our set right over there. And it is wet. It's got water in the ruts right here, so I'm trying to peel the trash out of these ruts. And then I'll bring some dry dirt in and put it over these ruts. It's a mess up in here. Here's what I ended up with right here. It's not beautiful by no means, but it was really wet in there. And when we started down here in the bottom, it all looked like that. We cleared it out. So the root mass under that all is nasty. So if you try to peel any dirt up, it just turns into a ball. But we're fitting to move out of here and move to a different set. Owen and Dad are going to take the skidder and the dozer, and they're going to pull the knuckle boom to the top of the hill till we know where we are moving to next. He's hooked to the knuckle boom and working on pulling it out. Just pulled it right through that pile of trash. Getting lined up for the hill. This here is fitting to pull hard. Yep, front end's coming off. Yep, he didn't turn sharp enough, or he didn't swing wide enough. Knuckle boom got up in the bank down here. He's gonna see if he can push the trailer sideways as Owen comes forward slowly, because it's hooking right down here. Well, we moved over a duals width. Yeah, I'll do it again. Boy, that was a situation right there. Sketchy business. Been having fuel solenoid issues here on this machine, and I'm going to go through here and figure out if my wiring's bad or if my fuel solenoid is bad. Okay, here's how I tested this solenoid. The solenoid is good. One of these wires is a weak magnet, and all it does is holds the solenoid while it's running, and the other one is a strong magnet, which is tied to your exciter wire for your starter that initially pulls it back. And my solenoid's good, so I got something wrong with the wiring up in here. You would not believe what I just found out. This wire here was just underneath this cover here, with it just snipped off flat, and that one right there is the one that needs to be hooked to the strong magnet. It's hot. I'd run a new one back when we got this machine trying to fix this, and it's right here, and it works. I've tried it 3 times and it starts all just fine by itself. Well, it may be janky, but it's gonna work for now. Took and hooked that wire to that one, and this is the one that's hot all the time. This is the momentary one. That's the big wire. Anyways, it starts just fine with no help right now. Works great. But I'll come back and I'll solder these together, because they're just twisted together and wrapped with tape, and that's not a good idea. We were in here cutting the set out and there's some line tree here, and it is huge. It's 46 inches that way and 44 that way. It is a big tree. Here's what we got done as far as building a set in two big trees. One of them was right there and the other one was right there. But we're gonna put the knuckle boom right in through here and we're gonna come up the hill like right there. But we'll come back out here in the morning and clean this set up and put a knuckle boom in here and go to cutting trees. But this is going to be all for this video. I hope you all enjoyed this video and thank you for watching. Hit that subscribe button, like, leave a comment. That would all be awesome.